Alright, so before I start this video, just know that the characters in this game are balanced around 2v2s. 2v2 are the main modes, so for new players who are interested in 1v1s, I highly suggest you learn the game in 2v2s. And only after you learn about the game, after you play 2v2 for a good amount of time, then come back to 1v1s if you're really still interested. Because, if you start in 1v1s, let's say if you're doing well, by the time you go back to 2v2s, you might struggle a little bit because there are more skills that you need to learn in 2v2s. But if you start in 2v2s, not only will you learn the game, it might also help you, easier in 1v1s because you already know a lot about the game's mechanics already. And of course, in some cases, 1v1 might even help you in your 2v2s as, if you want to use the mode to practice your fundamentals, so and such. So with that disclaimer out of the way, let's start with today's video. I guess another disclaimer is that, this is just my own opinion based on my own experience. It is by no means like the optimal or the definitive, the most scientific, tier list. So yeah, this is how I feel about, certain characters based on my experience fighting or, using them in 1v1s. And another thing is that I'll be going down a list, in this order, like in my in this sorted orders. So if you want to know how I feel about a certain unit, just skip to the timestamp or just skip to the point where I might be talking about the characters. I don't know, I'm not sure if I will be timestamping all of this because I don't have a script for this one. I'm just gonna like vibe it basically for this video. And another thing is that in the tier list that I put them as, anything above a B, I think is definitely usable in 1v1. Now 1v1 is more matchup dependent, but I think anything above a B or anything that is B or above is definitely usable in 1v1s. And anything that's C or lower would probably be a bit tougher if you want to use it in 1v1s. If you're playing against someone else who, like, if you are as good as your opponents, I guess. So yeah. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. So the first character, Akigumo. Now Akigumo is obviously an S tier. Anyone who you ask who, what units might be strong in 1v1s, most people will probably say it is Akigumo, or Akigumo will be one of them. If like she can pretty much deal with both range and melee attacks very well, and she's a 3k. It's pretty hard to catch her, and it'll be pretty hard for you to be kited using her because with her mobility and with her abilities and anti-range abilities, and if anyone trying to melee her, then they are just picking the wrong fight because she can pretty much counter any sort of melee in the game, even including super armors, because she can because she has moves that can literally just stop super armor right there. And you also have to like somehow outmaneuver her in a close range, in a close environment as well, which will be very, very hard. So she's definitely S tier because she's basically good in every situation. It doesn't matter who your opponents are using against. There are probably only a few attacks that she need to watch out for, or I guess a few moves that she need to watch out for in the out of the entire roster. But aside from those, if you just play her well, she can pretty much deal with any kind of situation. Again, as long as you're playing her well, and as long as you're timing her abilities at the right times. So definitely S tier, if not like high S tier or the top of S tier, because of her kit. So, and now we got Rota. Now Rota is also definitely I'll probably say high A tier because while she don't have all like the all the tools that can anti everything in the game, she is extremely fast, pretty hard to catch, pretty hard to be kited. She have the boomerang that can catch people off guard pretty easily, and the hitbox is also deceivingly big for the boomerangs. And of course, when she is in her wing form, she can cut trackings, and within it she can also have a very quick melee right out of it for offensive attack and pressures. It's just a very strong unit in 1v1s. Nearly S tier. The only reason why she's not S tier is that there are broken moves in this game that can kind of, I guess, be thrown out, and that can potentially, I guess, call her. She don't have like she is like she have a lot of BS move in 1v1. But there are moves that is even more BS, I guess. Even some from a lower cost characters. So I definitely think she is definitely top of A, but because she don't have like as much of a some other BS moves compared to some other characters that definitely lower her rank just a little bit. But she is still very very strong in 1v1s, especially if you're good in the game. She wouldn't be bad against anything. It's just that she lack BS factors, right, compared to some units. So now we got Ryan. Now Ryan is definitely a C tier because everything she does. I mean, look, there are good range like shooty 3Ks in this in 1v1s, but Ryan's definitely not one of them. Mainly because a lot of things she does is a bit too linear in a 1v1 setting. I mean, she's definitely very very good in 2v2s, but in a 1v1 settings, you can just about to see anything that she throws at you, and maybe you'll be good against bots. But the only thing that I can think of that she'll be pretty good at is she can constantly try to push for the enemies, especially if they're lower cost, into boost advantage, so she can punish the landings. That's the only thing that I really think that she is good at. But which, I mean, a lot of other characters can do it as well, while also applying more, I guess, unexpected pressure compared to Ryan. So Ryan's definitely a C tier because first of all, she's a 3 cost, which she can bring the HP down in 1v1s, which HP does matter in 1v1. Like it does matter in 1v1. It doesn't matter if you're like doesn't matter how good you are, because again, So because she's a 3K, and because a lot of things she does is just pretty linear, I think she's definitely C tier, if not high C tier, because again, she can try to push for I guess constantly push for boost advantage, but again, that usually only work against units that that is or I guess work better against units that is lower cost than you. So yeah. But I mean, she's very very good in 2v2s, because there's another ally and such, right? So yeah. And then we got Griffin. Now Griffin is, I'll probably say, is low B tier, because she can maneuver pretty well, and she does her tools against both long range and close range units. But so yeah, like I don't, because for a time user, she feels really really strong in 1v1. She feels strong in 1v1. She feels threatening in 1v1s. Like she can definitely fight a lot. That's why she's in low B. But again, I don't feel like, compared to how she would be in 2v2s, I think she's definitely compared to other good 1v1 units in the game, I think she's definitely not up there, despite she having a lot of these unique skill for her, like being form and such. Like she can definitely be pretty fast in 1v1. That she can definitely catch people very easily. She can definitely defend herself pretty easily. But in 1v1s, there are definitely better units for that overall and such. And again, a lot of things that she does can you can see it coming. So yeah, and plus she's a 3 cost, she'll be taking a lot of HP, so it's another thing that kind of minus her points for her. But I think she's definitely usable. It's just I wouldn't be using her as a top choice in 1v1. So she's low. Hold on, she's low B. So alright, so now we got Chuyu. Chuyu is definitely B, if not high B, because her range attack can throw a lot of people off in 1v1s, because some of the, depending on when you set those range attack up, she can potentially catch people off guard, because the projectile will be coming in different directions, and despite she looking a little bit melee-ish, her range attack are probably a lot more scarier than her like her melee attacks, or like her range attack is definitely a lot more scarier than her than her melee attack. But the reason why she's B is because a lot of her moves require her to be like not still exactly, because some of them you can do the, like, you can carry up the momentums, but yeah, it's just, I guess a lot of time when you're going into attack, there are some setup that you want to do, some setup you want to do, and some of the time you do have to be sort of still, or like in a attack animation, in order to, I mean, in an attack animation or like stun animation in order to use some of her skills that can that can be very powerful. And of course, when she get attacked, like when she get interrupted, a lot of her attack would just not work because of the sword just falling to, because with the sword and such just falling to the ground. So yeah, she's definitely a high B because she can definitely catch me off guard. She can definitely be pretty deadly in 1v1s. But again, because all the reasons that I talk about, I think she's not quite A yet. Despite again, despite she having a lot of pretty awesome moves in 1v1 as well. So also her teleport, yeah, no, yeah. And of course she have a teleport, which the teleport can you can use it to escape, or let's say if you like, you probably wouldn't catch people in 1v1s using like the teleportation attack, but I guess maybe in some situation you probably can catch a landing or something. So yeah. Oh well. Alright, so that should be good enough. So now we got Cherub. Cherub is definitely A tier, maybe low A or something. I don't like, she got everything as well, or especially against range unit because of her I think special melee, whichever it was, the like the advanced movement. She's a very honest character. She if you're she's very like she's pretty all-rounded. She got pretty good range attacks, and she can also counter range attack herself using that using that dash to go in. So both in long range and both in close range she is good, but she's just not quite, I guess, as unpredictable, or I guess as pressure-ish, I guess, as compared to, let's say, Akigumo, or compared to even Chu in some cases, because again, a lot of things she does is pretty linear, and as long as you're not just mindlessly shooting at her when she's doing the when she is doing the dash, you should be fine against Cherub, as long as you're dodging, as long as you're also dodging her like her range attack as well overall. So but if at close range, if you get caught by her melee attacks, she can also dish out a lot of damage that way as well. And she also got the 3k boost and mobility and such. So overall, she is definitely low A, if not A tier. But again, she's just not as explosive, I should say, compared to some of the let's say Akigumo or Rota that we talk about. So yeah. So now we got Black Rock Shooter. Now Black Rock Shooter, I don't know, because she just came out and I seen her once in PV in 1v1s, but and I got destroyed. However, I feel like it just, I don't know how this character works in 1v1 yet, and because I haven't been facing a lot of Black Rock Shooter in 1v1s. Well, aside from just playing around, right? So this is just, I don't know, but I think she's definitely good enough. Like, she's definitely B or above with her kit, if not high B or above. But for now I don't know. Yeah, for now I don't know. When I do know it, like in the future, if I were to make a tier list again, then I'll probably include her in as well. So yeah, but from what I've seen, she's definitely above B tier with all of her moves. So yeah, all right, let's get to the next one. So Reiki is definitely low A, I should say, because Reiki is a pretty popular character in 1v1 because she have a lot of anti-range tool for for going into the going close to the enemies, and she also has super armor, which can be good against other melee units, or just give you protection when you're doing an attack. So, but the reason why she's low A is just you can't see a lot of those things coming. Honestly, like you can see. After a few times you fight against Reiki, even if you don't know how she works, you will know how she's gonna attack. And the most amount of mix-up that she can probably do is after like one of the dash, she can do like a little flip to the to the spear throw, or just or just normal range attack as well. And once you know that she uses her range attacks, you can kind of not worry about it for a few seconds, because that is like her only few range attack that she has, despite her range attack is being pretty deadly. So you only really need to worry about her like her melee attack when she close in, especially the super armor one, which can be pretty easily dodged if you just time it right, and her few range attack that can also be pretty easily dodge as long because again there are just only two kinds of them. So yeah, I really don't think she is anything above um a low A, if not even B. But the thing is, she is like she does have the tool to go against range attacks, and she also does at close range, she does have some armor for for protection against, let's say, units, let's say Rota, right? Like she can Ricky might be able to throw a super armor and just hit Rota because Rota don't have super armor and such. Like Rota will have to rely on her speed and just her skill, or Ricky can just press one button and potentially can catch Rota if that Rota is being a little bit more like careless, I should say. So but yeah, so Ricky to middle A. But I don't think she's anything above that, just because she can be predictable, especially when she's not in like a melee burst or something, or some other kind of like offensive burst. So yeah, and now we got Dragooner. Dragooner. Now Dragooner is I should definitely C tier, if not probably C tier or C minus, because there's just not enough room for her to do her stuff in a 1v1 arena. I mean, she had pretty cool moves that can potentially be usable in 1v1, like the transform missiles, like the transform to the shoot, like the mines and such. Like some of those can potentially save you a little bit, but like she is not equipped for 1v1s that much, just because like the room is way too small for her to, I guess, get all her benefit, or I guess to show to, I guess, have what she is strong at be used, I guess. So yeah, she's definitely a C tier along with Brian and such. But if you want to use it, like if you're really good with it and you want to use it, she's like usable, I guess. But I would not use this character compared to all the other characters, especially the free ones that we will get into that we have. So yeah, all right. So now Galahad Dawn. Galahad Dawn is low A or high B. So yeah, low A, high B, because the only thing that she is really, I guess, I mean, she is very strong in all kinds of range, and she have a lot of tools to deal with a lot of things as well. But honestly, for me, in 1v1s, the scary thing that she has is just like, I guess, the wing of light into the quick stun beam, and also like her portable range shootings. Anything else is kind of predictable. It's pretty hard to get hit by her great sword as long you're sufficient, at least as long you are sufficiently skilled enough or like know about Galahad. It's pretty hard to get hit by her great sword, and her other moves are just if you know the game, you can dodge most of them pretty easily, especially in 1v1s. And again, the only thing that is like hard to deal with is the portable shield, which can invalidate when she's coming towards you. If you're using a range unit, invalidate some of the attacks, and of course the surprise attack from the ring of light into the quick beam. So that's the only thing that is really scary in my opinion for Galahad. So she's probably just like low A or high B or something like that in 1v1. But I mean, she's still definitely good. It's just there are more broken stuff in in 1v1. So all right, now we got Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is probably B tier, I should say, probably. Unlike she had the problem with just like Ryan, where a lot of things she does is pretty linear. But the difference is, I guess, first of all, she should have a lower cost. So is Oreo Plus, and she does have melee. She does have melee attacks, and her front melee does have shooting guard, which is which I mean, like Ryan does have a melee attack, but having like a melee attack that can do more damage, or like have a proper melee moveset is probably a lot better, when it comes to time to use it, especially when she actually have a pretty good one that is her for melee shield, against like a close range range attack that would have gotten you into a combo, but instead you will be winning the interaction if you were to hit and such. And her her range attack are pretty good, but again, pretty linear. So most good players are probably going to be able to, I guess, dodge it. And if you want to push for, like Ryan, if you want to push for boost advantage, then she can definitely do a better job than Ryan does, of course. Or then she can probably do just as well as Ryan, considering she is a 2.5. So yeah, and it'll be pretty hard to catch her because she does have the cut tracking spin and such. So as long as you're playing her well, then you'll be pretty hard to deal with. But again, if you're against a player who is good, then it is also pretty hard to get hit by, or pretty hard for you to hit a lot of things, because again, a lot of things she does is fairly linear, especially at a range where she's more comfortable to be at, I guess. So that should be Thunderbolt. And no, I don't remember. Okay, so hold on. Another thing about Thunderbolt is I don't know, because I know that she changed like some of her like transformation in 1v1s, which I don't know if that means she just cannot use a transformation anymore in 1v1s, like to transform her into like the question mark mode. But if she can still do that, then I think she's definitely higher, like high B or like high B or even low A, if she can still transform into it. But I think that patch just made her unable to do that. But definitely go check, right? If she can still turn into it, then I think she's definitely even more usable. If not, up to high B or even low A, if she can still do the transformations. All right, now we got Nora. Now Nora is definitely probably a low A as well. I think she's very popular in 1v1s because of her super armor sword, but the scary thing about her is her like sort of like the curved rainbow dashes, and as well as her like sword boomerang. Compared to like Reiki, right, where she just go in a straight line towards you, but like she can block melee. Nora's a little bit more unpredictable because she can do or she can advance along with her range attacks. If you're using it with the curve jump sort of, and then when she gets close, like when she does get close, and she throws her boomerang, that can be pretty. If you didn't get hit by the boomerang already, the boomerang will come back. So let's say if you try to counterattack, or if you're trying to run away, you might just run into the sword if she threw the sword in like a good direction or something. So yeah, that move alone, I think, make her deserve, is what make her scary, I should say. Her super armor is just a self-protection tool against other melee units, I guess. That's yeah, it's just, I mean, if you combine it with the melee burst, that can be pretty deadly. Again, if you had the melee burst. But otherwise, again, her super armor spam is just melee. It's just anti-melee tool, I should say. So yeah. And again, her scariest thing is just that she can do that, but she actually have a gun to shoot with, and she can do the jump for unpredictable, or I guess a bit more unpredictable sword throw. Because again, in 1v1s, unpredictability are pretty important, because again, you don't have another teammate to cover you, so you just kind of have to fundamental, I guess, with the character. So yeah. So that should be Nora, and now we got Baselar. Now Baselar is C tier, definitely, I should say. I mean, probably high C tier because she does have like the plane mode, or like the dash mode, and she can go into like something that would be pretty cool. That can caught people off guard in 1v1, but otherwise, she suffer kind of like other like higher cost, more range focused units. Probably just things being way too linear, in my opinion. You can probably see everything that she's coming. It might be safer if you just wait her out at long range, or just kite her out at long range, because first of all, if you're playing well, a lot of the things that she does might just not hit you, unless you're closer range to it, and you wouldn't be hit by her special surprised a melee attack from her, like out of her playing dash mode, I guess, if you're not close enough as well. So yeah, definitely. But because she does have those things, and she does have, I guess her bullets is a little bit more wide, and she does have I guess a bit wider of a hitbox, or I guess more projectiles in some of her moves, I think she's definitely high C and not Rhine or Dragoon or such in 1-1. So if not low B even, yeah, if not even just low B, but probably high C is probably a better placement for her. But she's definitely a unit that I definitely wouldn't want to use in 1v1s. Yeah. So now we got Gorai. Now Gorai is definitely load A, if not just A tier, because first of all, you can just apply pressure by just pressing main, like, and by just spamming main, and because she will never run out of bullets with that, and you can just do that, which is incredibly good against bots, but against people, then it is a tool to just keep the opponents moving. But her other moves, like if you were to hit your opponents with something, or let's say if you push someone into boost advantage, and they had to land, you can punish them with like a pretty fast cannon snipe thing. That would be pretty useful, and I believe that thing is also good against super armor as well for one of the modes too. So that's pretty good. And against melee units, if someone dared to come to Gorakai, she does have like another route in her special melee where she turns to like a sort of like a drifting tank mode. If you press melee during it, she will have a brief super armor that she can grab someone with it, which can be pretty deadly for melee units, especially if you time the things right. So in close range she's covered, and in long range she can, and in close range she is covered by that, and in long range she is covered by all of her bullets and all of her range attacks. So that's pretty good. And if she need to land, she can also just land using her special melee, which again, it is safer landing than just letting yourself just land and get punished by land punish. So definitely A tier, if not low A or something like that. It's just the only difference is that if you're fighting against Gorai, you would know that she have all these things, and you might just not play into, like, you might just, I guess, kite the Gorai out or something, because you could potentially use a unit that has a better range, that has a better range capabilities, or like a more unpredictable range range attack, or yeah, a bit of a more unpredictable range setup attacks, I guess. And of course, in close range, you could just abuse like super armor or something to, I guess, go over her super armor or something. I don't know, but yeah. Alright, so now we're going to Cygnus, right? Cygnus, I don't know, Cygnus. Now Cygnus definitely low A, if not A tier, because she can just deal with every single melee units in the game with her with her ice beams, and she can also potentially be good in close range as well, because she does have the jump flips. And the reason why she is not, I guess, like S tier, I guess. Oh no, hold on, yeah. Hold on. I think she's definitely A tier. Yeah, not low A, definitely A tier, because she have these coatings that you can that can block a few range attacks, and after you use it up, you can just put her in the back line and have that recharge, which is pretty freaking broken if you're gonna be toxic like that. But I guess she's not S tier, or she's not like high A, is because against like a range unit, like let's say if she fight against Ryan, which in my opinion is in C tier, she might lose because she might be able to be pushed into a boost disadvantage, thus be punished by Ryan's range attack. Because again, her whole thing is to just spam her I guess ice beams until like spam her ice beam against melee units, and if the melee units go too close, then she would do the jump. I mean, there's more to that, of course. There's a lot more things that she can do. But against, let's say, if she's against any unit that is more range oriented, then I think she can start to struggle a little bit, because yeah, like your ice beam might be good against melee units. It might not be that great against like a range unit that is constantly keeping you at like red lock radius. I mean, I guess she can go in to try to fight it, but that does also increase the chance of her herself to be attacked by by the range attacks of the enemy. So yeah. So she's definitely A tier, and if you want to like abuse like her like coding mechanics, I don't know if she can still recharge a bullet, like her code bullet if she's in the back line. But if she can do that, then that is one of the BS things that I can do in 1v1s, which earn her like a honestly if not high A tier. But again, she's way too, so probably just A because again she's too dependent on like matchups against melee units. So and then now we got Sky Saber. Now Sky Saber, I think she's definitely B tier, if not high B tier, because I mean she she can maneuver pretty well with a lot of her movement abilities, or I guess movement attacks. She does have tools against range attacks. She does have tools against melee units, or she does. She'd have tools in any. She have tools in any kinds of range, and she also have just pretty good both good melee and both good melee and good range attacks that can basically make her pretty deadly in any situation. It's just that she's too honest, I guess. Compared to a lot of other stupid broken characters, like broken units, she's way too honest. Like her move is just good, but like it's not unfair, right? She's way too fair. Therefore, she's like high B. Like she can you could never use her in 1v1s and do good, but she lacks like the broken factor, I should say. I mean, she can surprise people with with some cancel routes using like the dagger flip and such, or just like the side special ability and such. Like she can definitely surprise people with those. But again, they're not as BS as some other units, some other move in the game. But good unit is just not unfair enough, I should say, in 1v1s. And now with Shaolin. Shaolin is definitely low A tier. Because again, if you know how to play Shaolin, the only thing that you need to watch out for is basically her net. That's the only thing that you need to watch out for in 1v1. That's the only thing that she can read anyone with in 1v1s. And I mean, I guess her special melee can, one can block range attack, one can block, or one has super armor. Yeah, sure, great. So many other units have that as well. It's not even like special anymore. And I guess in one much her block is also a counter. I guess that's cool, but in a grand scheme of things, she's way too predictable. I should say, yeah, she's way too predictable. Because she doesn't like. With the only thing that is, I guess, less predictable is her net. But the thing is, you should know that she had the net, so you should probably play a little bit more careful while she has the net, because she can throw out at any time, especially in the way that you're going to. So yeah. But otherwise, once you do special melee, just don't be scared. I guess don't be scared. And just keep distance and switch on a unit that has things that can counter it. Let's say you switch on to your let's say your Akigumo or something that units that can be pretty strong in those or switch on your Cygnus or something that can counter many units, and she will be pretty much a cakewalk in 1v1s. So but I mean, her net, you do need to respect her net, because her net is pretty unpredictable, and it's definitely a move that can catch you off guard, if not most of the time against players that's actually good. So yeah, so low A tier because those reasons. So, and now we got Fredo. Now Fredo, probably A tier, low A tier probably, because she have incredible self-protective powers using her like delayed orb attacks and such. So like against melee units, a lot of times that when like she's not immune to melee, but like if you have those orb out and you throw it out before you get meleeed, a lot of time you'll be safe because the orb will just attack those melee units. Now even if the character dodged, like the character will just have to, the melee character will have to like just disengage in order to I guess not be hit by those orb easily, because those orb like the delay attack is pretty awesome, and she can also use it offensively as well. You know, like she can throw out the orb and she can just go in along with the orbs, which can be, you know, while she's attacking, which can be pretty good in 1v1s as like just pressure tool and such. So, and the reason why she's not like even higher is just that that's kind of all she got, honestly. Like she's pretty good at just, you know, range unit. Like she can definitely keep people moving. She can definitely protect herself pretty good. But compared to, let's say, like Rota or some other unit that's a bit more explosive, right? Or even like over Nora or something, like a bit more like, yeah, a bit more explosive. That can actually, you know, determine like a factor of the, like, that can actually push for in close range interaction. She's way too protective. Like she's a unit that you switch out, like that you switch in when you are finding a unit that you don't know, I guess, that the other two units that you have isn't good against, I guess, in terms of the matchup. So, but I mean, I'm pretty sure good Fredo will be incredibly deadly because, you know, a good Fredo can utilize everything that she got, including, you know, like the transformation mode and such, to just apply even more pressure and apply even more you know, attacks and such that can just be pretty deadly in 1v1s. But for now, just putting her at A tier, if not low A tier. So, and now we have Iceland. Iceland, I think she's definitely low B is the highest I can give her to, because like, if you know what she does, it's pretty easy to, I guess, it's pretty easy to not get hit by her stuff, right? But the thing is, she can punish, I guess, any kind of lag pretty well, because of her, you know, like because of her snipe, and she can also pressure people pretty well with her, you know, with her funnels and with her I guess with her you know, her funnels and with her, I guess, music attack. I guess I don't know I don't know how to say those things, but yeah, but yeah, it's pretty niche. Like I don't want to put it in C just because, you know, I think she definitely had the potential to use to be used, especially against, and it might be especially good against certain characters that would be, I guess, vulnerable to her snipes, and it might just make that character unable to like set up something because she can just stop the setup from being set up in 1v1s pretty easily overall. So, and in close range, she does have the shield that she can throw out, so there is some sort of, you know, self defense, but it just, you know, against certain unit that's a bit faster, against units that's been more aggressive, that can push that can push more pressure into her, that will be a lot difficult for her to deal with. But I think she's at least probably good against some other units, or people who might not be aware of what she can do overall. So yeah, so I think she's definitely low B, but still in B, so still technically almost usable in 1v1. But she's not a unit that I would use in 1v1, honestly, for most of the time. And now Franka. Franka's definitely A or low A because of her I guess Beyblade. I guess, yeah, her Beyblade. Those things can really mess you up. Like if you want to talk about unpredictability, this, like, she is a character that she can do that, and she's a 2-cost. That means she wouldn't take out too much HP, you know, in your team, and she got pretty good range attack, and she also have extremely high priority, or I guess long reach melee attack. So she's covered in pretty much all aspect. But the difference is that, or I guess what makes her not, I guess, generic, is that she have the Beyblade that can really put any units on edge, even if there are 3K or some other units, because, you know, who knows if the Gyroid or what the who knows if the Beyblade will just nudge you at the back and then, you know, get you into a hit stun. And Franka, although Franka does have moves that that I guess require her to stop to I guess attack, when, you know, she can definitely use those times in order to, you know, use those Gyroid hitting time to, I guess, you know, set up those attacks, which can be pretty deadly. And of course, you know, one of her moves are also pretty fast to punish landings as well. So I think that's is one of her gyro move where she spin the gyro around. Oh, where she spin the gyro where she spin the Beyblade around her body and just throw it at you. And that thing's pretty fast and can catch a lot of people off guard as well. So she's definitely A tier, probably hovering from high A to low A, I guess. So I mean, depending on the player, I guess. So, and now we have Galahad, the Dark Galahad. Now she's definitely S tier. Yeah, she's definitely S tier, no question asked, because in any range, she's deadly. Like her range attack, like she might look like a melee character at first, but in a 1v1, in a small arena like that, with Galahad's, even because Galahad's attack, even at Greenlock, especially her blade that can split into three. If you use the longest range mode of that, you can pressure people even at even across the stage, even at the very end of the end of the edge of the map, and that can potentially catch a lot of range units off guard as well with that attack. And her anti-range shield throw attack, when you are using it in Greenlock, and then you throw the shield, it will still throw it at the at the enemy's direction, at least for now, right? And that thing is deceptively long range. Sometimes people see you randomly using that move and they try to go in, and then they just get hit by the shield throw, despite like the time where she uses the shield advances are out of redlock. So yeah, very, very deadly unit at from the range. And in close range, she's even stronger because she like almost like Nora. She have a spammable super armor, but it is only at the beginning. So she's safe when she's charging the move. But what's strong is when the move comes out, it is a one hit down. So that means that means it can counter that move alone. Like I think it's neutral special melee. That move alone can counter every single super armor, including most of the burst, like the melee burst in the game, because it doesn't matter what that attack touches, it will knock it down, and then end whatever that person is doing, even if they're in super armor. That's how strong that move is. Like when in doubt, use that move. You might just get win like an unwinnable situation otherwise. So that's incredibly powerful melee, I guess anti-melee or just anti-close range, or I guess anti-close range attack for her. So, and of course she have the left right spin special attack, special melee attack, which is also pretty good movement abilities, especially when you combine it with with your other units or your other attacks. And another thing is that once you have her at talent 1, she has a downweight that can also be a very good landing option. And also, let's say if your opponent's pennant blocked at close range, you can use that, and the shockwave of it can actually go through blocks. And of course, that thing has super armor at the beginning, so you can also, if you time it right, you can also prevent yourself to be. I mean, you also get hit, but you won't get, I guess, knocked down from that thing. So yeah, just a good unit all around. Great at every single situation. Have absolutely abusable mechanics with her, with her special melee and such, and yeah, just incredible. Unfair unit in 1v1. Like she got everything. Not quite like the same way as like Akigumo, but she just rammed through like the enemies. Like your enemy got some BS, well she has even more BS, and she can just out BS the enemy's BS. Or compared to Akigumo, where you actually had to use skill to, I guess, counter enemies with timings to counter enemies' range attack and counter enemies' main attack. Galahad don't need to do that. Galahad, you somehow just throw out some things at the right time, or throw out something in response of some enemies trying to BS you, and you might just come on top because of her mechanics or because of her moves. That's how strong she is. So she's definitely S tier along with Akigumo up there. So yeah. Another thing is her. And okay, so next up is Kitty. Now Kitty is how do I say B tier, I should say. It's like I don't know. She's pretty good against range units, and against melee units, she does have the Kitty bomb thing that she can throw out. That she can throw out to bomb everyone or to bomb herself as well as the enemy as a close range attack. But usually you will use that thing for an advance attack. So yeah, I don't think she's anything too special in 1v1s. She can be pretty deadly against enemies' range units, of course. But otherwise, I don't think she's anything that's too crazy in 1v1s. Considering of all the other units that we have, so I think she's definitely a B tier, overall. So yeah, I mean, she's a 2 cost and she can shoot pretty well, and she have her gimmicks, so she's B tier, but not quite, but at least in 1v1 I don't think she'll be any higher than that. Alright, Borzoi. Borzoi is definitely high B tier because pretty quick, and she can definitely be pretty unpredictable with her, with her spin move, with her I guess like a fan angle dagger throw that can definitely catch people off guard. And her melee attack can also dish out a good amount of damage, and she also have like the self defense tool being the shotgun, which is all pretty awesome. So I think she is high A tier. She can deal with situation in most ranges as well, especially in close ranges. But I think she's not as BS as as units that is like in the A tier, I guess. So, and then now we have Stalin. Now Stalin is even A tier because she's very hard to catch as a 2K. She can definitely increase like the team's HP because she's a low cost, and she's also again, as I said before, pretty fast, and she's also pretty hard to catch with with her kit being able to fly a lot, or also applying pressure using her like pea shooters. So yeah, that's pretty good. And sometimes when you're landing with her using like the using the missiles, that can also catch you off guard as well. And a lot of times you can just outmaneuver even higher cost units and then potentially attack them when they're when they're being outmaneuvered, I guess. Her 4 melee is very, very quick. It can be used to, I guess, punish people who, I guess, try to do something when you wake up. Because most of the time, as long as you time it right, whatever they do wouldn't be faster than Starlet's 4 melee. So yeah, so overall, pretty awesome A tier, just pretty fast and pretty hard to catch, and also pretty deadly overall. So yeah, A tier. And then we got Darkstar. Now that Darkstar is also S tier because holy crap. Aside from because 1v1 maps are small, right? 1v1 maps are small, and it increases the likelihood for I guess her fence to be able to I guess, or for the enemy to run into her fence. I mean, look, when you're using her, it might not seem like it is anything special, but the fence can be pretty deadly and can be a pretty good call out even if the enemy are at the edge of the map. Like if you're also at the other side of the map, because it is fairly quick, and if the enemy are just not paying attention, or if the enemy are just not thinking, or not trying to, I guess, predict it, or I guess not trying to, or wasn't thinking that much because they think she's too far away, that thing can really catch people off guard very quickly with her, with her left right fences. And of course she had the shield that she will recharge, which can be pretty deadly because the moment that you put the shield on, if you're a melee unit, that means you shouldn't go melee her for like the next 10 seconds, because you will get stunned, and then you will get melee by her, and then you will take a lot of damage. So yeah, pretty oppressive unit overall. So at long range is fine, and at close range, I mean, aside from her shield thing that she can recharge, she's not exactly great at in close range, but she is pretty good at running away, especially using those fences. And then of course she can also yeah, she can run away pretty well with the fences, because she can like use the fences and then go behind the fences, and for the for the melee unit to try to catch her. So she'll be a very hard time to deal with for both enemies range unit and for enemies melee units. And of course she have like a little orb AoE that she can do, that she can because that thing goes through block, because it kind of attack from all around, or I guess the hitbox covers the whole block as well, I guess, like covers the whole enemy. And that thing you can use it when the enemies are down and just fly up to mess with the enemy's camera, and then there's a good chance that the enemies might just get stunned if they try to do anything while they're in the bubble. If like you time it right, or you can just use it as like a punish, or as like a or as like a landing punish or something. That can work as well. Or you can even use it at close range, that you use it out and then you try to go melee someone. But the thing is, the enemy will have to run, because if they try to engage with Darkstar, then they might get hit by that AoE thing, because that's the point, right? That's the point, that she used her AoE funnel thing and then she tried to go melee you, and then you kind of had to run. Otherwise, there's a good chance you'll get hit by the AoE that comes soon after. So yeah, and her gameplay is just running away, just keep on running away, and it's extremely hard for enemies to deal with, and extremely hard for enemies to catch, with all the moves that I talked about before. And another stupid thing is that after you use up the anti-melee shield, I mean, that it's not even anti-melee, it's anti-everything shield, you can just put it in the back line. You can put it in the back line, and then by the time you put her out again, that thing is probably almost charged already, which can give you another 10 seconds of not being able to melee, which is just absolutely toxic, I guess. So definitely S tier, because of all of this. Maybe she couldn't deal with, let's say you use up everything and you're dealing with like a Shaolin Eclosion or something. Maybe you couldn't do something at that point. But the thing is, with Darkstar, you wouldn't get into that point all of the time. Like you simply wouldn't be going into that position as Darkstar as long as you're playing her right. So yeah. And now we got Seraph. Now Seraph is someone who is a very good player who recommended to me when I was climbing in Wave 1, because I was trying to find like a brain dead character to use. I definitely think she is still good, but she's definitely not as good as before. So kind of probably put her at low A. Now you can still use her funnel into the dash, and that can cover a lot of units. But the thing is, a lot of melee units have super armor now, so that might not be that great, because super armor is able to tank at least most of the attack from it, especially let's say if you're using Nora or something. So that can be pretty tough. But again, the enemy would need to have super armor and such in order to effectively deal with that. But the thing is, even then, for players who know how to play against this character, it's not too hard to deal with that, because you can just run away. Overall, I mean, of course, you can position you can use that move during when you're in a boost advantage. You can definitely do it as well. But I think the meta has, or I think there's just new character that came out that can make it easier, because with all the super armor that we have now. So, and aside from, and without that bread and butter, the funnel into the dash, her other things, although it's fine, it's just not it's just not on par with like other stuff. So like, let's say if you're fighting against a character that can deal with the funnel to the dash, then she wouldn't be that great with her kit, or with what is left with her kit that she can use. So yeah. And now we got Yami. Yami is definitely A tier, I should say. A tier, if not low A tier, because I heard some people say that she's not good against. I mean, of course, she is deadly against melee, against range units. But I heard some people say that she is not good against melee units, which I'm not sure about. I'm not sure about 2v2s. But in 1v1, she can potentially deal with that, because she can activate because she can activate her counter thing by herself. And a lot of time, let's say if I'm fighting against Shaolin, right? With Yami. Now, if the Shaolin knows how to do Yami, then Shaolin would just go in with the super armor and then try to melee me, right? But if the Shaolin were to use any sort of range attack, let's say she used her main and hit the Shaolin and I countered it, I would just immediately go for her, and then there's a good chance that she will just get hit by it, and then get full comboed on, basically. And of course she also got the spin into the spin into the boomerang throw, which is also very, very deadly as well. even for melee units, because melee units will have to come close to your Yami. So what you can as long as you time it and as long as you position it right, there's a good chance that you can do like a little spin into the boomerang throw, and that can just stop their advantage. If not, just hit them right away, and then you can just go into a full combo again if that were to hit the enemies. Because that thing is extremely unpredictable, or I guess it is very very fast. But I mean, people will be able to see it coming, but it can still be unpredictable, especially if the enemy are trying to advance to you, which is what a melee units will want to do, and it's technically what you will want to do against Yami, because Yami is technically not great in melee, but the thing is, she does have this trick up her sleeve to very quickly throw out the boomerang to stop to hit the enemy unexpectedly almost. So she's definitely A tier, if not low A maybe. And of course, she is very good against range unit, because you can just press down melee and just invalid everything that the range unit that is I guess shooting at her basically. So, and she's a 1.5, so she can bring a lot of HP to the team as well. So that is another plus. So there's Yami. And then now we got 18. Now 18, although she has the the reloadable gun compared to with Goran Kai, I think she's definitely at best low B. Because, and the only reason she's low B is because she's probably good against bots, if you want to farm bots, and just or against people who isn't a veteran, or isn't someone who know how to deal with just people keep on shooting at you. I guess she can be pretty hard to catch because she can fast off pretty well, and she also does have the phantom step thing that she can also use to land and to reload and to shoot with. But other than that, everything she does, as I talked about before, is a bit too linear. So you would know what 18 does. You would know that 18 will just keep on shooting at you. Yeah, big whoop, right? So you will see that coming. So, and you can deal with that accordingly, right? Or use a character that can spam you more, because that's all 18 can do, honestly, most of the time. So yeah, so definitely a low B tier, if not like high C tier or something. But yeah, kind of sad. And now we got Scorpion. Now Scorpion is S tier. I'm pretty sure people already know that. Yeah. Again, when arena is small, this increase the lethality of the mines, because enemy can step on it by accident. Doesn't matter how strong they are. Sometimes in the heat of the battle, or if Scorpion purposely play around the mines, there's a good chance in the heat of the moment, the mines is able to hit the enemies, especially if the mine explode by themselves after a certain time. So yeah, that alone is already pretty deadly, but she also have moves that can have a delay of when the artillery drops, and of course good tools against close range units, and at the long range she can also apply at least some range pressure against enemies, and she's also very fast as well. Yeah, I don't know how to say more, just S tier, because she can deal with everything, but in the most annoying way, while also being the most probably the most annoying S tier so far out of all the S tier so far, because people just don't people might not want to play with her again. When she faces against a Scorpion, it's just very tiring to fight. She is fairly hard to catch. And of course, with all the mines, and knowing that Scorpion has, the tail whip, she can even go into her spinning mode, and the melee attack in there can also be a little bit almost disjointed even. Yeah, it's just very annoying, very scary to deal with in 1v1, especially as a 2-cost unit and a free-to-play unit. So definitely S tier. Definitely S tier. She might not have super armor, she might not have anything else, but she more than makes up for everything else that she got. Which I don't know if she's still OP in 2v2s, but in 1v1 she's definitely still OP overall. So And then we got Ada. Now Ada is definitely I would say different A tier. She's not A plus because she might suffer against units that can just apply a lot of range pressure, like more than she does. I mean, she can apply a good amount of range pressure as well. But I'm not sure if she can do that. If she's facing against, let's say, Scorpion, or if she's Scorpion, or if she's facing against Darkstar or something like that. She's incredibly good against melee units. She can and she can cause problems with range units. But if you were to using like even like let's say if you're using Rhyme, right? Like a CT unit, that can potentially be a problem for Ada because Ada might just not be able to keep up with all the spams. But against any sort of melee units, let's say Shaoling, let's say Reiki, despite Reiki having anti-range attack and such, if Ada just time it right and then just shoot at the right time, then Reiki is done for as well. So yeah, incredibly good unit, but sadly it is just I guess I mean I know back then she's absolutely broken in 1v1 like in the early days, but nowadays I think she's just great. Like she can still do a lot of things that she does, but they're just new units that can out like I guess that can just like zone her out, I should say. So she's like a zoner, but like she can be zoned out by like a stronger and more annoying range spammer and range shooter and such. Like let's say the next unit, like this one, like the second star unit can potentially cause a problem for Ada, despite I wouldn't use her in 1v1, which I mean I would use her. Like I think she's B tier because she like her bubbles, like her little bubble thing can be pretty unexpected with how it travels and how it tracks. And that thing can be pretty deadly as well, and she'll be pretty hard to catch because because of her I guess her little spin move as well. And she can also apply pretty good range pressure as well just by shooting, especially for a 2 cost. So I think she's definitely a B or low B mainly because of her bubble that and her move abilities. So yeah, I guess I don't know. I'll put her at low B probably because I don't think she like I will use her because she is like because I want to do like a free to play challenge, and I have faith in her to do well. But if I want to win all the time, then I'll definitely switch her out because because I want to win, right? Or have a higher chance of winning. So yeah, but just know that she can be pretty deadly against even units at like even the highest rank, right? If if people just play her well. So and then now we got the beta, the starter unit. Now she is definitely low A or high B because she can also do everything at any kind of range. If enemy goes to close range, she have an extremely long range, unexpected because it's very fast sword flip that can go into a combo. Which if you know like the optimal combo, you can do like almost 800 damage, if not 800 damage of damage just from a very very quick combo starter that is also very very long. If the enemy dare to come to you, and don't worry if they have super armor as well, because you can just cancel and do it again, and that can like you might not be able to do like a combo or like a high damage combo afterwards, but you can still stop like I guess do like 500 damage onto the enemies if you just spam that move at close range. So very strong in close range, and at a range she can potentially out spam even like shooting units because she can triple shot her main shots and her double shot to like the one hit down bullets can also be pretty deadly, especially especially with the delay, and especially if you were to like carry out your movement and momentum with it for you to be moving still while you're attacking. So I think all the combined make her at least probably low A because again she can deal with everything at any kind of range. She's kind of like I guess I don't know. And I guess the only reason why she isn't higher is just I guess she don't have that much BS. I guess I mean the thing she has is kind of BS, with her sword flipping and her and her like really good range attacks. But I guess compared to what you would say for for Scorpion, or what you would say for Galahad or Darkseid and such, she don't have the BS, or she don't have as much of a BS factor compared to these units. So that's why she's like low A or like high B or something like that. But she's definitely a unit that will probably use. So I'll just put her at low A. So for Star unit being a low A. So yeah, I'm pretty sure there'll be video of me playing beta a lot, or there's video of me playing beta in my channel if you want to see like how strong she is in 1v1s. And then we got Snow Owl. Snow Owl is definitely, I would say she is high. She's high C because she's 1.5, and potentially, if you were to use her burst, let's say you use her as an anchor, right? And you got enough where she can use her burst, and then you just use her burst for like the instant snipe. Maybe she can do some explosive damage at the at those times, but outside of that, she's not. Yeah, you wouldn't want to use her in 1v1s. She don't have enough tools to deal with I mean, she have tools to deal with range units. She have tools to deal with melee units, but not enough of them to keep herself safe. I think she's more so just like, let's say you go in with a shooting burst, and then that at the back, so you can like do like a little burst sniping session during the burst, I guess. So yeah. Alright, so that should be Snow Out. Now let's go into Orchid. Now Orchid is definitely A tier, if not high A tier, because now there's a lot of BS move that can just ignore, I guess, like her advances, even when she's invisible. However, her invisibility, like her advancement is not even what I like. What I mean, her advancement with the invisibility is strong, but that's not even the reason why I think she is like high A. Is because similar to like Darkstar, let's say your opponent's burst in, right? Let's say your opponent's burst, and then the character that you're using right now cannot like win the interaction that easily if the enemy is in burst. Then just switch to Orchid, active invisibility, and just run. Now you're not guaranteed to not get hit by things, but as long as you're moving correctly, it'll be incredibly hard for the enemy to hit you while you are while you're literally in invisibility, which wouldn't have trackings on you. So that's the reason why I think she's high A, because she can just you can just pop her out to dodge a burst, and then switch her out again, and then by the time where you switch her back, she might already have the invisibility up and running for you to go in for the sneak attack, which is pretty awesome. And she's a 1.5. That means again she can give you more HP in a team. So all these factors combined, I think she's just high A tier, if not just A tier, if not high A tier. The reason why she's not S tier is because she doesn't have like, she can get wrecked by a lot, like by all the people in like all the units in S tier, because against Scorpion, she'll get tail swiped, or she'll get like, if she don't get step on the mines. Against Darkstar, she can get fenced. Against Galahad, she can there's so much tool against her and Galahad, and then against Gilmore, Orchid is also toast. So yeah, that's why she's not like S tier. I mean, giving her high A might even be too high, but I think just for that factor that you can just pop her out and use her invisibility to dodge something is already incredibly annoying to deal with, especially combined with her cost and the damage that she can dish out at her cost. And her invisibility also make her fine in most ranges, because doesn't matter if you're close range or long range, the enemy wouldn't have tracking on you. Like they can attack at your general direction, but none of the attack will be able to track you unless it is bug or something like that. So yeah, or unless it is AOE. So, and now we have Katarina. Katarina is probably high B, if not B tier. You wouldn't get hit by a lot of her things. Okay, yeah, probably B tier, because if you know how Katarina works, you shouldn't get hit by anything that she does. The only time that she's deadly is at close range, like with her little, bonk. But the thing is, you can just run away, right? You can just run away and just zone her. But as a 1.5, and she can just deny a lot of the ranged enemies in the game, including enemies in like super armor or something, I think that is deserve some plus points. So I think she's definitely B tier because she can just deny almost all of the melee units in the game if they try to go close. And for range units, she can't I guess she will struggle against range units because range units will probably not get hit by her stuff, and she will have to advance if she wants to have a chance to hit like a good player with a range unit, which you really want, like her flip attack, like her flip melee attack thing. So yeah. Alright, so that should be it about Katarina, and now let's get into Akatsuki. Now Akatsuki, I don't know. I haven't fought her enough, in one, but I would say definitely B or higher, if not higher B or higher, because just because of the maneuverability, she have good range attack, she have good melee attack, so I think she's just good overall. But I don't know like how I will put it, but definitely above high B or something like that, if not higher. So, and I've got Nameless. Nameless, I'll probably put it in like B or high B as well. She looks like she can be pretty good in 1v1s, and her her charge is also can be pretty unexpected in 1v1, but she's a 3 cost, and she also doesn't have that much aside from her like long range melee sort of thing. Is nothing else is that unexpected of him, and even then your opponents will probably know that, oh, she got a tail thing, so you gotta watch out for the tails, and also that she can also melee at like a certain range, like she can I guess melee a certain position on the battlefield, which people will be watch out for when they're against Nameless. But at close range she can have a lot of things, like she have a lot of different, I guess, like jump attack and such, so that's pretty good. But yeah, let's say if you're against a ranged unit that just keep running away, I don't know what she can really do, because the thing that she throw at the range unit will probably not hit as long the range unit are playing optimally, right? So I don't think Nameless is that I don't think Nameless will be that high on the list overall, but she is pretty deadly if up close, if she can get the chance to do that, or if she is able to have the ability to go in along with its tail and such. So yeah, definitely high B tier or something like that, high B tier or B tier. So. And then we got Siren. Now Siren, I don't know. The time I fought against Siren, I don't feel like there's anything too. I don't feel like she is too hard. So probably, but I think she's definitely at least B tier or above. B tier or above. It can be anywhere above A tier, S tier, or whatever. But I don't know. I haven't seen her enough. She's a 3K, so I don't know. I'll probably give her B plus or something. But again, I don't know exactly what she would be at because I just don't see that her that often and such. So yeah. And then we got Cammy. Cammy is definitely low A, definitely, because she have everything. She got pretty good range. She got pretty good, like unexpected ability. Definitely, as long as you're like doing some of the notes right. So yeah, she pretty much got everything. It's just I think she is also not BS enough compared to like the high tiers. Like, I mean, I guess she can be as explosive as like Rota or something, right? But I think, in my opinion, Rota is a lot more BS than Kami in 1v1 from the time that I fought against her, fought against Kami and Rota. So I think, yeah, I'll probably give her to A just because, yeah, she is pretty deadly, I think. But I feel like she is not too bullshit compared to, other bullshit units. So yeah. Alright, so now we go to Big Beta. Now Big Beta is compared to Rhine, Big Beta actually is usable in wave ones because there's she have a lot more non-linear attacks. She can the double the V-shaped beam can potentially catch some people off guard at at a long range because you might think it is safe and you might just fly into it by accident and such. And of course the delay bazooka is also a very good way because there are no teammates, and there's a good chance that as long as she pair things well, she can potentially go in do some good setup, either self that or or go in for some good setup using the delay bazooka and such. And of course her flip bazooka thing is also pretty deadly. So yeah, it's definitely, I would say probably low A tier. Yeah, low A tier, if not A tier, as like a 3K shooter, which is pretty awesome. And this is the same thing goes with Ether, if not even stronger. Like, probably like A plus or just A, because she is, you know, imagine the delay bazooka, but like she can like control even more, and then like and then just be even more deadly. And this is actually like just unexpectability. The character, just like Franca and such. So yeah, I'm very strong, and she also have just good protection tool, and she actually has some melee that can potentially if time comes to shove, she can still YOLO, I guess. But either way, yeah, her little drone can be at different, like, I guess, angle, or like different um places than her, while also being able to shoot enemies. That's pretty awesome in 1v1. So she's definitely like A plus, if not A tier, for 1v1s. So, and then we got Shadow. Shadow's definitely low A or something, because if you know how to play Shadow, if you know how to zone exactly how something goes, she can definitely provide a lot of pressures. But in my opinion, she's not as BS as a lot of other units. So that's why she's not anywhere higher. But yeah, I mean, some people might disagree, because she is pretty BS. But again, compared to the BS other things that we have, the S tier that we have, then yeah, she's not that unfair compared to some other units. So, and now we've got Ray Brazil. I don't know much about her, so I don't know, but I think she's definitely at least B tier or above, probably, from the time that I see her. But I don't think she has anything that's actually really too crazy or too uh, 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 uh unexpected. So yeah, yeah, but just it'll be up to the people who plays, who knows more, who knows a lot more about her, especially about her in 1v1. But for now, I think she's definitely at least B tier or higher, but I don't know how where she might be at. And Cavalry is definitely probably A tier, low A tier, or even high A tier, depending on the user. She can definitely put in a lot of pressure, with enemy in 1v1s, because she can just keep on shooting, and there's no stop. And and that can be pretty deadly in 1v1s. Because especially when most of your range attack might not even hit her, while she is in a mode. And if you were to go in, then you have to deal with like her anti melee shotgun and her like beam and such. That can be pretty deadly at close range if you were to get caught. So yeah, she's definitely at A tier, even high tier or something. In 1v1s. The Onion Girl is probably okay. I don't know much about her, but I don't think she's that great in 1v1, so I would say probably like low B, mainly because she has some melee attack that is a bit deceivingly long. But I don't know, maybe high C. Maybe high C. Yeah, she has some melee attack that is deceivingly long. That I sometimes just get caught by in 1v1s, or even in 2v2s. In a 2v2s that become a 2-1v1s. So yeah. But otherwise, you probably wouldn't get hit by her attacks, at a certain range. And at close range, maybe she can caught you by surprise with some move or something, but that's the extent of her. So I think she's just like C plus, or maybe somewhere low B or something. So, and now we got Hanukkah. Now Hanukkah, if you know what she does, then she's definitely not a threat to you at all. I'll put her at like B tier, because she does have moves that can not unpredictable, but like she can have some setup that can potentially waste a lot of your boots in order to punish your landing and such. Better more so better so than Ryan can do. Because she has funnels, she attack from all kind of different direction, or she can have those thing directions. She have a snipe, and she have just a gun that doesn't need her to turn around. So yeah, I think she's definitely at least, I don't know, low B tier probably. When she transforms, I guess she does have like a AOE attack that can potentially be good against melee units, but I don't think she'll be dealing with. I don't think she should be in melee range, in enemy, even in 1v1s. So yeah. And then we got Elfin. Elfin's definitely C tier, because yeah, way too linear. You can probably see everything coming, and yeah, I don't think she offers that much overall. I mean, could change in the future, but I don't think she. Yeah, for the time I fought against her, I think she's a waste of it or your team's HP, especially when she's 3K. So and now we got Haruka. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay. So this is Hikari. Okay, my bad. So this is Haruka. So Haruka, she um, no, I don't know because I don't, I don't use her that much. But from the time I fought against her, I don't feel like she's anything that's too crazy overall. But I think she's definitely at least B tier or something, to be able to usable because she does have pretty deadly attacks. But I think 1v1s, I think she wouldn't go past like high B or something if you were to use her ultimately and such. So yeah. And now I keep the dead alive. Keep the dead alive. I also don't know much about her. I don't play her that much, but from the time I play against her, she can be pretty annoying. But yeah, I play her. I play against her like 3 times or something. So yeah, I definitely don't know what she would be at, but I think maybe like a low B or something if I were to guess. So yeah, Godhead is definitely high what's called high B because yeah, she can do everything at pretty much any range. She can have tools against pretty much everything. But the reason why she's B is because when she transforms, that thing is definitely exploitable. Another thing is that you in 1v1 you can probably see everything that she does coming. You can probably predict what move she's gonna move, that she's gonna do in order to dodge a certain attack or something like that. Overall, so just a bit too predictable, and the transform can be exploited, and the super armor thing is also time limited, which you couldn't counter other super armor melee or something like that. Yeah, when it is close range, but her range attack is good. Her melee attack is definitely possible to be. It's definitely also fine, but she's too honest almost. I guess she's too fair compared to some other units. That we have. So Ine is probably like a low B, I guess. Yeah, low B. If you play her right, she can definitely caught enemy by surprise and such. But otherwise, some of her moves you might just never get hit by, from her, as long you are, I guess, as long you are like managing your boost well and dodging well overall. So I don't think she's anything too special. So I mean, I don't know, just low B, I think, low B, low B, low B. And now we have Eva. Eva, I would say is probably high B tier because her a lot of her attack can be pretty, I guess, hard to deal with and hard to counter with. Like she also have a lot of good self-protective moves, but it is kind of predictable, I should say. Like, there's nothing that'll come behind you, right? Aside from, I guess, the funnels, which is not undodgeable, I guess, or it's not, or it's not hard to dodge, I should say, after you play for a little bit. There's only an Eva, dodging this one Eva shouldn't be that much of a problem with you. And after she uses all of her, moves like her Genki Dama with her, all of her stuff, she will just be a sitting duck most of the time against a range unit, like, because enemy will also know that you might spend your 4 melee and such. But yeah, so but at least she is a bit more unpredictable, and so I'll put her at high B tier or B tier or something like that. So Valkyria is definitely low A tier because her dash to the drones or dash to the beam can catch people off guard in 1v1s. So yeah, because of that, and then the moment you get hit, you will take a lot of damage, and of course, depending on damage, you can also get executed, and then that will heal Valkyria's health back and such. That thing is definitely all these are the contributing factor that she is in the A tier basically. But otherwise, if you dodge, like if you know how to dodge, like I guess her grab to, or I guess her dash into like the drone throw or the beam, then you should be fine overall against Valkyria. Just don't panic, Yeah. Also, sorry, I got a bit tired just talking for so long. And now we got Angels. Angels probably between B or C. I don't know, but probably between B or C. I don't really see her being able to use that well compared to some other units. So definitely something between B or C. Alice is probably high B if not low A because of her, her special move, her extremely big hitboxes that can be pretty deceiving. But like she's not any hard because she's not. It's not like she can deal with everything in every situation, right? She's not as BS as other people. She's a bit more honest. She just using pure power to overpower people, but which there's a lot of other character like that's like gotta have like the default gotta have can just deal with her pretty easily as long as you can time things well overall. So, but I mean she's still pretty good. It is a character that I would use if I have, if I were to have her in one once. But I don't think I can. I think I can live without her, because I can just go back to using like the S tier. That is in my opinion. So Sharp, things are Sharp. Playing before now, I don't know how optimal they are playing it, but I definitely think it is at least B tier or higher with her kit and such in 1v1s, especially when you can switch out your character after you use up your ammo and such. So I think Sharp definitely at least B or B plus overall in 1v1s. And now we got Kaze. Kaze is probably B to low B or something like that because yeah, she's definitely not putting in. I mean, she's usable definitely, but she might look scary with some of her attacks, but you can easily just dodge them or something like that. What's it called? For the opponents, the only time where she'll be deadly is when she start to mess with camera, like the enemy purposely go on top of you and such. But that's the only time that I think that would be pretty deadly. But that can be dealt with because if you're downed from that, you can just run away farther and you'll be fine against that kind of strategy and such. So but yeah, so I think she's definitely low B tier, at best high B tier or something, depending on the character you're using, I guess. So, and now we got Tatiana. I don't know Tatiana. It definitely looks like a B plus or above with her moves. It's like a but I don't have much experience with her, so yeah, I don't feel like she's that threatening in any ranges overall, even at close range. After her, because she can use her I guess special charges for melee pretty quickly as well. So yeah, but either way, I don't know. So I'll just say at least B plus or above. So and now we got Krista. Krista is probably also B plus or above because her little like she is pretty good. Zoner that she can shoot a lot and pretty defensive, or she can be pretty defensive, but she also have the like after bit she can use her, I guess, holy big cross bag whatever long beam attack, and that's a few attacks that can actually outrange the Galahad thing and like even Aguma things, because that thing is long range and is one hit down, therefore it can deal with most of the melee attack in the game, including those units that are supposed to be anti a lot of the melee attack in the game and such. So and if you use those two charges up, just switch your character and then use that character and then come back, and and your two charge might just be a max charge already. So yeah, pretty awesome character. So at least B plus, at least B or more, if not just B plus, if not even more maybe. So and then now we have Hibiki. I don't know anything about Hibiki. Supposedly she's good, but probably at least B plus or above. Supposedly she is good, but I haven't seen much of her usage at all in 1v1s, at least not ones that I have fought. So yeah. And now we got Chingy, I think, right? Fine, I guess. I'll probably put it in like top, like C tier probably. I don't really see much that she can really do in one, or that she have an edge in 1v1 against some of the units. So yeah. But again, I don't play her often. I also don't like I don't play her, obviously you can see. And from the time that I play against anyone using her, Aside from 2v2s, I feel like she just isn't doing much. I mean, yeah, in all the one matches that I play with, that I play against her before, I never thought she's anything too scary and such. So probably yeah, probably C tier if not high C or something. Right now, Emika is definitely I would say B tier above, B plus or something. She's pretty quick, and she has some move that can definitely caught people by surprise. Like the pancake move and such. Yeah, so she definitely catch people by surprise. Pretty high range as well. She have fine range attack, good melee attack and such. Which yeah, I think she is definitely A plus or above, not plus, B plus or above. So yeah, B plus or above. It's just not she not BS enough to be anywhere higher. And Virtue is definitely B plus or above as well, if not A minus or something. Her moves can definitely her moves can definitely caught people by surprise. Her range move and her just range attacks even can definitely catch people by surprise. Oh, maybe not range attacks. I mean, actually, I think it is because you use a range attack and you go in with a range attack that can be pretty deadly as well. So I don't know. I don't play Virtue that much, but I fought against a lot of Virtue. While I don't think she's anything too BS, but I think she's definitely good enough to be like at least B plus, if not A minus, with with the kids that she has overall. So yeah. And then we got Breaker. Breaker is definitely B plus, I think, because she can catch you off guard with her range attack combined with her melee movement speed. And at Redlock, she can potentially even attack with like the down special melee or something like that. For just even more damage. So yeah, B plus because she can quickly stun someone well close enough. So yeah. And then now let's get into Palace. Palace is pretty awesome. Yeah, B plus if not A minus because after the change she can maybe her max damage is a bit lower. The super armor can definitely help a lot against against melee units or something that doesn't have it. And yeah, and pretty explosive for 2 costs. So I'll say B plus plus or just A minus straight up. So yeah, pretty awesome. And purple units as well. That's pretty awesome too. And Zack, and now we got Zack. Zack, I think at most low B, if not just going to C. Probably not C, but like low B for sure. She can shoot pretty well, but that's pretty much all she really does. I mean, and she have like shooting movement speed as well. So yeah, it's fine, I guess, against bots to just like shoot people. I guess using her guns and using her attacks, but otherwise, yeah, I don't think she's a character that will bring into 1v1. So I should probably B minus minus or something like that. And now we got Roland. I don't know. Roland, I don't know. I seen great Rolands, I seen bad Rolands, so I couldn't tell which one is like the norm, I guess, or like what she's against or something. So B I will say at least B tier with her, with what she can do. And from what I've seen as well. So at least B tier probably. So and lastly is a character that I don't have. Obviously, I don't know about this character, but from the time I find again, it's probably almost a little bit same case as Zack, almost like probably a bit more unpredictable with the drones and like the thing throws. So or like the item throws. So I think at least B tier probably at least B tier for her. So alright, so that should be everything. I'm a bit tired. I'll probably cover like the S tier things again in another recording, which I'll be playing now. So. Alright, so now that the recording is done, let's go reiterate all of the notable ones that I want to talk about. So the S tier, in my opinion, for 1v1s are Akigumo, Dark Galahad, Dark Star, and Scorpion, mainly because most of them are able to deal with most of the situation in the game and most of the units in the game. easier than the others. And two more I want to talk about is in the A tier, Cygnus and Orchid. And for Cygnus, mainly because she has this anti-range coating that she can switch off, or that once it is being used up, you can just switch her in the backline, and then I believe that thing will still recharge. Which, you know, if she still does that, then that's a pretty good 1-1 unit that you can try to do, or that you can try to, I guess, you know, abuse the mechanic of. And the other one obviously is Orchid. You know, aside from she already being a very good 1v1 unit, let's say if someone bursted, you can just switch Orchid and turn invisible to, you know, dodge a burst, and then if you want to, you can keep on using her, or you can just switch her out again into another unit once the bursts are done. So yeah, these are the units that I think are definitely like the, in my opinion, the most notable ones. Of course, all the units that I talked about, or I guess there's a lot of characters that can also do that, because I believe you can do that with Krista and, you know, her long range. I don't know what's it called, like the long range I guess cross melee attack. It, I think, can be charged even in the backline as well. So there are a lot of characters that can do that. But yeah, for the unit and for the tier list, right? Any unit that I talk about that is at least B or above should be able to, you know, beat, or depending on the unit, beat the so-called S tier, in my opinion. Because, you know, a lot of in 1v1 is mostly about like it is mostly about knowing the matchups, right? Like, because it is not like, oh, if this unit will be good against a ranged character, because a lot of time is it can this unit deal with this unit because of their movesets, right? So yeah, once you know about like the matchups, you know, characters in B tier, if not even C tier, should be able to deal with, you know, even the character in S tier, as long as you know the matchups. But of course, you do need to know the matchup, and the character that are in S tier are the character that, in my opinion, has the least amount of I guess, bad matchups in the game, or at least you can deal with most amount of situation in the game. But they are not, you know, if you're not good with them, or if you don't know the matchup, you are not going to you know, perform them any better compared to, you know, other people like using a free-to-play unit such as, you know, Beta or Ada, or, you know, some other free-to-play unit. If you don't know the matchup, if you don't know what to do with them, but once you know how to deal with them, in my opinion at least, from, you know, for me playing Scorpion, Dark Saga had, and Agoma is definitely S tier, because I just feel like I would never be in fear using them, because they can just deal with most situations. And even the bad matchups they would have are kind of not as bad compared to if you were to be, you know, using, let's say if you're using Reiki against Ada or something like that, where, you know, it'll be pretty hard for Ada to get hit by Reiki and such. So yeah, or even Ada against, you know, some other many units or something. I don't know. So that should be everything about this tier list. I know it's just a lot of yapping, because, you know, I don't have the time to like make a cohesive guide. But I hope this can help for you know, some people who might want to know who is good in 1v1s. And again, I want to say that this is my opinion. This is no, you know, by no means scientific, or, you know, by no means I would say optimal. So yeah, you can form your own opinion, and you can also, you know, just ask other people who might I guess know more about the game, I should say. So and of course, if you're a new player, please learn the game 2v2 first, and then come to 1v1, because again, the character in this game are balanced around 2v2s. Even though, you know, in 1v1s, technically, in my opinion, it is fun, because the character, like most of the characters have, you know, those BS moves that can be very helpful in 1v1s. But of course, in 1v1s, it will be more balanced, because, you know, again, the character are balanced around 2v2s. But yeah, so I don't know how to end the video, so I'll just end it here. If you have any questions, you know, feel free to ask it down in the comments, or, you know, tag me in the Discord. So yeah, alright, see you everybody, or see ya. Goodbye.